It is such a pleasure for me to introduce Sue Morter. This lady has so much class, as well as being an amazing healer. She has, she just floored me when I first met her. I wasn't expecting her. I just wasn't. And and she thrilled me, and she still does. I love what she writes. I love, sometimes I go on and I watch her on a Zoom thing, and she's an amazing being. I think everybody's going to be so, so happy to see her in Cleveland. And I'm so proud we got her, David. I'm so proud we got her.
Yeah, we we were really glad when Gaia wanted to do a show on us, and who was the interviewer? It was Sue. And she did a great job. So that was my first real impression of her, although I already knew her book Energy Codes. And so she's a real leader in this whole energy medicine area. And our students tell us that going to her workshops is it's very different from Donna's workshops, but they also really know they're working with a master. So so it's really a pleasure to welcome you, Sue, to Energy Fest, and tell us a little bit about whatever you want to tell us, but also get into your keynote and what that will be like.
Oh, fabulous. What a delight. Hello, everyone. And it's a joy to be here. And Donna and David, it's always an honor to be in the presence of you. I grew up with energy medicine. And so when I learned that you were out there doing everything that you were doing so many years ago, I was thrilled to know that this world wasn't just this little box that I was living in, but that it was this larger venue. And you have certainly made an amazing contribution to what will always be known as energy medicine, and I think better known because of you. So I'm thrilled to be at Energy Fest with you. I know that we're going to have an amazing time, and I love all of the speakers that you've gathered for this amazing event. And I'm thrilled to be doing an opening keynote for the program, and really being able to just bring what I know about our ability to heal, our ability to manifest, our ability to be more awake as spiritual beings, as energy beings than most of humanity is operating in. And so in the keynote, we're going to hit it off right off the beginning, right out of the starting blocks with an understanding about how this is really a presence that has been on the planet since the beginning, and probably before recorded history. And we'll just walk through some exciting things that are really pointing in the direction of humanity awakening to its true capacity. So we're not interested in you as the viewers and participants in the program and coming to the conference. We're not interested in you just moving energy around so that you are feeling better. We're interested in you really owning this energy essence that you are, and really learning how to step down inside of that and live as this full potential. So we know that science says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, and spirituality says that spirit is eternal. And we're going to tie it all together in this conference, in the keynote, and in the workshop that I'm doing beforehand, even telling you that both of these realities are talking about the same thing, and they're talking about you at the foundational level. So we're going to bridge some science and some spirituality together in beautiful ways that allow the left brain and the right brain to be inspired and enthusiastically supporting one another in a whole new way of living, because our world is not exactly supporting that in mass out there. And we are here, those of us that are interested in truly evolving consciously, we're here to turn that inside out and learn to realize that we are creating the environment that we're living in, and not just trying to survive it. And so I'm very interested in contributing to supporting your ability to know yourself as that, and to walk and talk as an eternal energy being that is able to create and sustain your creations with ease and grace, as soon as we learn how to dial into the frequencies where those things can happen. So I'll stop there and see where you guys want to go.
Very interesting that you're putting it into the perspective of humanity's history and this unique time. And you talked about this being a time where we can really embrace the potential that we haven't embraced before. Can you say a little more about that?
Absolutely. It's actually a remembering that we're encountering right now. When the going gets rough out here, it is so that we will eventually get out of our habituated patterns and ways of being and kind of moving with the herd in a numbed out sort of way, full stride, thinking that we're busy and doing important things, but all the while not really healing ourselves and not really reaching our fulfillment and our destiny. And so this repeats in history. It goes back to ancient Greece and ancient Egypt and ancient India and in South American traditions as well. So we're going to kind of weave those together a little bit and show that this has always been happening, that we go through cycles where we become externalized and then we become internalized and then we become externalized and then internalized. And it all is in kind of a rhythm with really the cosmos and what is happening on a very grand scale. And so when we begin to recognize that, oh, this is just a cycle that we're in, and right now we're being begged to look within and to find what is true. When the outer world is saying that's not true and that's not true and they're not telling you the truth, and it's very stressful for so many right now, that I'm thrilled that this conference is going to allow people an opportunity to drop in and start to recognize that there is deep wisdom rising from within this system. The way the system is designed to express in the world is from wisdom outward, rather than just taking the external environment and trying to figure out a better way to survive it or to manage it. And it's something that has been repeated throughout history. And so knowing that, it gives us a little bit more confidence that we can do this again. And so those are some of the things that I'll be sharing with people. And then ultimately, of course, the most important things are what we can do right now to begin living in a different fashion from our deep core wisdom, from our essential truths, and to express that out in terms of healing the physical body, healing the mind, healing our relationship with nature and the divine or God, or however we want to look at that, or however that works for us to reference it. But that when we start turning it inside out and realizing that we have to learn how to drop out of living in our heads and our minds and predicting and regretting or pontificating, and drop into really being qualified as a presence, a being in the present now moment that is fully capable of creating and manifesting what we truly, deeply desire. So
Great.
I can't give all the secrets away, David,
Yes.
but I want to share a little bit about that.
So you have great words. You have great words. I love how you explain it, say it. It's really good. And that's what I want everybody to get. And it is time in our world for consciousness to expand and evolve. So I'm very excited that you're going to be here with us.
So your pre-conference workshop is on activating the greatest healer within. How do you teach people to do that?
So one of the things that we're first going to do is to learn how to recognize when we're living in our minds, when we're identified as the mind and trying to figure out and strategize and analyze and always be thinking in order to have a feeling of safety and security. We have developed a way of being that is based in the mind field. And we can learn how to recognize the limitations of that, the limitations of knowing what to do next when it is based on our mind alone. And everyone has had hunches and gut feelings and intuitions and inner realm presenting ideas that if they could catch it and act upon it, it serves them. In fact, no one has ever told me that they had a gut feeling and they went with it and they regretted it. But what I've heard thousands and thousands of times was that, oh man, I knew it, but I didn't act on it. I didn't want to be the one to rock the boat or whatever. And boy, do I regret it. And so we're really interested in cultivating someone's ability to sense that, oh, I'm doing that head thing again. And I have to drop down in here and learn how to sit really in a deeper seat within, in the seat of wisdom, or referencing it as the seat of the essential self, and live from this place of intuition and inner wisdom and ongoing referencings truly the universe is delivering billions of bits of information to us, and we are bombarded by it at the cellular level. And little antennas on the surface of the cell, this is epigenetics, interprets that information and then turns it inward, and we create chemistries or neurotransmitters, et cetera, that then rise up to our awareness. And if we learn how to tap that, we are in constant communication with an infinite supply of knowingness, the noosphere, the unified field of consciousness. And so we're going to teach people how to begin to walk down into this place where that is cultivated, and to be able to animate it and magnify it and enhance it so that it is so robust, it doesn't get overridden by our thinking, worrying, predicting, projecting mind. And so it will facilitate every other healing modality that anyone is ever attempting to do, when we can learn to do all of these healing modalities from a place of deeper within our core essence. It really enhances just about everything in our lives. So that's just
beautiful.
a little snippet.
One of the things we're noticing is that the people in our community, which is a big community now, are feeling a lot more anxiety and a lot more pessimism than they did even before the pandemic. It's like that has been growing, and it seems to be calling for a different way of meeting them, of addressing them in our healing work. Is that true for you as well?
Yes, and here's what I know about it. This thing that we're calling anxiety is actually our potential that is untapped and doesn't know where to go. It doesn't know how to route itself up through the heart and up through the throat into words and ideas and actions, and up into our high brain centers, where we have super clarity about who we are and what this is all about that's happening in the world right now. And so because we haven't routed the sets of circuits to allow that extra energy that is trying to upload into our consciousness, it stays here in the core, in the belly, in the solar plexus, and it rumbles, and it's a lot of potentiality. And we name that energy anxiety. We name it anxiousness and fear and these kinds of sensations. And then because we don't know what to do with them, the mind starts saying, well, this is bad. And when the mind starts to focus on this is bad, it starts translating everything into this is bad. We know that whatever we pay attention to magnifies and gets enhanced in the presence of the magnifying quality of the mind field of energies. And so what I'm really interested in doing in this workshop, in the pre-conference workshop, is teaching people that this thing that we're feeling is being misinterpreted. We are misinterpreting it as anxiety because we didn't have a language for it. And that's what I'm meaning, that when the outer world gets so crazy that we've had to turn more inwardly and wonder, what is my future? What's going on? What are we going to do next? Instead of just blindly going on in our lives the way that we were. Now the mind is paying attention here, and it's magnifying these energies of potentiality, but we haven't been taught what to do with them or how to reframe them in a way that serves us. And so everyone is feeling freaked out, and rightfully so. However, we could take that energy and do something super productive with it that is transforming who we are, how we interpret this outer world and the things that are happening, and allow ourselves to truly become masterful at being the energy beings that we are. And so I think that while it's creating a lot of pain and concern for so many, that's the sign that it's time for us to learn how to turn that in to something that works in our favor. It's sort of a conscious evolution rather than just evolving in slow motion the way that we were before. It's like, hop two, now is our time, let's get busy. Here it is. So that's what we're going to turn it into in the pre-conference workshop anyway.
That's a fantastic reframing, that anxiety, thinking of anxiety as a powerful, urgent motivator for potential.
Yes, it's like passion that doesn't know where to go. It's just, it's passionate, rising empowerment that doesn't know how to get up to our processing centers so that we can make use of it. And so we're left just perplexed and kind of very afraid.
Well, everybody needs you in Cleveland.
Well,
So those of
looking
you that are
forward-
listening, I think you can feel the excitement
Yeah.
of that Sue will be bringing to her post or pre-conference workshop and to her keynote. So we hope you'll really can find a way to get there. And Sue, thank you so much for agreeing to be at the conference and for this little chat to tell people about it.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have so much fun. You know, learning can be fun and healing can be fun and inspiring. And that's exactly what we're going to create together. So I can't wait to see you guys in person and give you a big hug.
We can't wait.
Okay. Bye-bye, Sue. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.